Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all.
Hey, welcome back trainers, battlers, and girls at PvP. This is Pogo Joel here coming at you with my Community Day video. And in this video we'll go over some of the best tips and tricks to help you for your Community Day and some of the news that you need to use for this Community Day. And if you like Piplup, please drop a like, subscribe if this information is helpful, and I'll keep cranking it out. And without further ado trainers, let's get right into the video. Alrighty trainers, so for this Community Day we have Piplup as the featured Pokemon in Pokemon Go. So this time around, it's our first one for 2020, it's our first one of the year. This time around it's going to be way different. The Northern Hemisphere is going to have their Community Day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and the Southern Hemisphere is going to have theirs from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now if you don't know what hemisphere you live in, don't worry, the world gets cut in half by the equator. Don't worry if you don't know what that is. I have a picture up here on the left here, and it's going to tell you which hemisphere you're in and where you fall under. So pretty much the top half of the world is going to be in the Northern Hemisphere, so 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, so like Southern America, parts of Southern Africa, Australia, New Zealand, places like that, yours will be from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And for our bonuses this time around, we are going to have the 1/4 egg hatching distance. So if you just did the Adventure Sync Week, then you might have a lot of eggs while you are trying to hatch those shiny party hat Wurmples or those shiny party hat Pichus. Hopefully you were able to get one. I was not. But I do have a lot of 10k eggs because of that event ready to go, so I'll maybe invest in a box there. For the bonuses, we always have the 3-hour lures, so that's nothing new. Some of the best tips and tricks are just trading. If you have a lot of the Community Day Pokemon, try to do some trades with your friends and see if you can re-roll them, get luckies that are going to be beneficial for your teams, whether that's raiding or PvP. I always do trades, so I have a lot of candy ready to go. When I know it's a Community Day Pokemon, I'm giving that pineapple berries to get those extra, or panaps, to try to get those extra candies for my Pokemon, so I'm prepared when it comes to Community Day, because you never know what could happen. Maybe you can't make it, but at least you will be ready if you do it this way. And then for those eggs, what you want to make sure you do is don't incubate them until the event has started. That will guarantee that you lock in the distance bonuses. So don't incubate them anytime before your Community Day starts. Check your local listing to find out when that starts. Do not incubate until the event has actually started. Alrighty, and let's take a look at Empoleon and the Piplup family. Piplup is weather boosted in rainy weather, so keep an eye out if you do have the rainy weather in your area. And now let's take a look at how that shiny form looks like. So if we do trade in the dark blues for a teal aqua color, so we do have Piplup, Prinplup, and Empoleon. So some exciting shinies to get very excited about. And anyone else ever think about this Empoleon with the stripe going down the middle? I always thought of it as a tie. To me it looks very funny. Anyways, so with these aqua, turquoise, blue colors, they do make a shiny standout here. So if we look at all of our Hydro Cannon users, we do see that Empoleon with Hydro Cannon is going to be the second best Hydro Cannon user behind Swampert, and Hydro Cannon is one of the best moves in the game, hands down. Right now up here we're looking at DPS, that's damage per second. That's how much damage is getting put out per second here. Empoleon looking pretty good there at number 2 with the damage per second. Now if we look at the total damage output, we see that the shift is the same. They're all about the same. That's based on their bulk, so they're going to be lasting in the battle longer, doing the most damage as they survive. So Empoleon going to be the second best Hydro Cannon user. So now if we compare the Hydro Cannon users to all of the water types and we look at DPS, all of their damage per second, Kingler is still up there hanging on there with Bubble and Crabhammer. If you haven't heard of that yet, Kingler is a pretty good Pokemon. You might want to have one if you're doing some crazy speedruns. We have Kyogre, who just learned Surf, moving on up there. Way better than Hydro Pump. And then Swampert, our first Hydro Cannon user, makes the list. We have Crawdant up there with Waterfall, Crabhammer. And then we have Empoleon with Waterfall and Hydro Cannon. Now, if we had maybe Water Gun, you would see this be propelled a little bit higher. Feraligatr has a Legacy Water Gun, but it's impossible to get that Legacy move with Hydro Cannon. But we do see some interesting, strong Pokemon up on this list. And if we just focus on the total damage output, so they're staying in the battle longer, how much are they actually putting out? We see Kyogre with Surf on top where it belongs, Swampert down there at number 3, and Vaporeon. So if you're a newer player, work on those evolutions, those will be very helpful for you. Gyarados, Milotic, and bam, Empoleon finally making it up here. Still on this list, kind of shows you where we're at with water type Pokemon in the game. There's a lot of water types, but these are the ones that really stand out with our DPS and our TDO. So we have Empoleon, a water and steel type Pokemon with an attack stat of 210, a defense of 186, and a stamina of 197, maxing out at 2,900. It's only going to be weak to electric, fighting, and ground. So with those weaknesses, aren't too bad. If we look over at those resistances though, because it is a steel type, it resists a lot of things, and you add that water in, that means ice, it's double resisted, poison, it's double resisted, steel, it's double resisted, it resists bug, dragon, fairy, flying, normal, psychic, rock, and water. And if you're playing PvP this month, if you're a battler, a girl that PvPs, or if you're interested in Go Battle League later this year, Empoleon's going to be a pretty interesting Pokemon. It's not going to change the general Great League that much, but in certain cups, like the Fusion Cup that's currently happening on the Self Arena right now, it's going to make some waves and definitely be one of the better Pokemon to bring in. So here's all the move sets on the left. If you're trying to build a water type Empoleon, you're gonna want Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon is one of the best moves in the game. And if we want to be a steel type attacker, you already have that move set in there. Most people are going to be running Hydro Cannon and Flash Cannon, and you could throw Blizzard in there for fun as well. But take a look at Empoleon. It is going to be a fun PvP Pokemon for Pokemon Go, and I always recommend you make one of every Pokemon for every Great League when they get a Community Day exclusive move, because you never know how good a Pokemon will be as things change and get updated, moves get buffed, things get debuffed. So keep an eye out for Empoleon. It's looking really good for PvP right now. Hey, there you have it, trainers. So for this Community Day, Empoleon on January 19th, 2020, check your local listing to find out what hemisphere you're in if you don't know, and what time you'll be in. But we did get some tips and tricks in here. Start trading those Piplups if you have them. Anytime you know it's a Community Day Pokemon, you trade that Pokemon. Try to get as much candies for it with pineapples. And then with the hatching, make sure you turn your egg on right at the start of the event. Wait maybe a little bit if you want. Once you see the Piplups are starting to spawn, go throw all those eggs to hatch if you have incubators. And if you have your free one, throw it in there. Don't forget about it. If you're a free-to-play player, you have some too. Hopefully there'll be some good Community Day boxes for us. And if you are into PvP, or if you're interested in Go Battle League later this year, Empoleon definitely does have a spot for battling. So in PvP, Empoleon will be a pretty good contender depending on what restrictions come up. So make yourself one in the Great League, 1500. Make yourself one for the Ultra League, 2500. And if you manage to get yourself a really great one, maybe a high CP one, if you get 100%, yeah, evolve one of those, because those are good for the Master Leagues. Alrighty trainers, if you found this helpful, please drop a like, subscribe, and thank you all for the support. Hopefully we can keep growing this channel in 2020, and good luck on your community days. Let me know if you get a shiny, let me know if you're excited about Piplup. And until next time trainers, gotta catch 'em all.